Good Thursday morning. We are back here at 10 o'clock, 10:05. It's close, right? Make sure everything is going. Just try to give it a quick check just to make sure we're where we think we are. We got Hawk Best, James Moore, and Laura. Beautiful. Beautiful, you. But yes, we're there. Good. We're on Facebook. I'm sure YouTube is working because YouTube always works. So anyway, leave this up here. We'll go back. There. That's what I wanted. All right. So we got James Compton. Good morning. Hulk Best. Dad. Good morning. Always love having Dad join us. I got my coffee. Disney. Let's get back to normal so I can go to Disney. I like to see that happen. Olivia is on YouTube. So, hey, Olivia, I'll put that up there. Olivia says, hi. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, somebody on Facebook, let me see if I can check. Zara, good morning, Zara. We're live. You want to come in? RT's bothering me. Do you want to come in? They might be able to hear you. It's on my headset, so. Hey, you guys say hi. See, it's Instagram there. You got YouTube and Facebook Facebook. Right now, Zara's here. Your daughter's here. We got Hulk Best, which is James Moore. We got Laura. We got James. So we'll get a lot more that show up later too. It's about time that RT's in the office. Christy's here too. So, yep. So this is Zara down there. I say this to say that if you're on Instagram, I don't know. I might make this shift. Instagram is great, and I love Instagram. I'm not saying anything about Instagram. But Instagram, I have to use my phone for. And the people on Instagram can't see what's going on Facebook and YouTube. So I don't know. I got to figure out a way. Maybe YouTube would be better. I don't know. Or Twitch. I'm going to start using Twitch soon. I already got my Twitch username, Pastor Chris Moore. So, and then Christy's here. So Christy is here. So I don't know. I like Instagram. It's good for some stuff, but YouTube might be the better option. Obviously, you can go to YouTube and like our 110 youth group page, and you can get notifications that we do this. We're going to keep doing it. Zara, I'm so glad that you are here. Taking advantage, right? So this week we decided, I don't know, we're going to talk about it and decide if we want to continue doing this. On the Villa members page, we do this every week on our 110 page. So even if we decide to not do it on the Villa members page, which I don't know, you can go to our 110 YouTube channel and like that, subscribe it, and you would get notifications that we go live. It's on there too. And then you can have conversations with the other people that are on there. So I don't know. Instagram users, we may shift you. So Hulk Best, Laura, I know Renee gets on there sometimes. Kathy, we might push you to YouTube. If you have a problem with that, let me know. I don't know. We'll see. This morning, though, Ephesians chapter 5. And before I get into this, I'm going to say later today, I don't know when for sure. Nelson doesn't have YouTube. That's okay. I'm not saying that we're going to disagree, cancel Instagram. I'm just more saying for those of you that have it, maybe you should go to it and you can communicate. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we'll figure it out. Anyway, I do want to say I'm going to go live a little bit later today. Probably, I don't know. Let's say, I don't know when. So just pay attention. I'm going to go live and we're just going to talk and have fun. I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to do is I was thinking about this last night. I'm just going to go live on vMix, which is the other program that we use to stream our services, but there's a social media aspect to it. It's not going to be on Instagram. That one will not be on Instagram because I can't do it. But I'm going to test it and play with it because that might be something that we can do. It'd be fun. So if you see us go live on YouTube or Facebook, just join in, have conversation. It's going to be completely laid back. Pop in, pop out. If you need to go do something, you want to talk, that's fine too. Anyway, so I'm going to get started. Ephesians chapter 5. This morning, the challenge coming from Ephesians chapter 5, coming from Paul. Therefore, be imitators of God as beloved children, and walk in love as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. Ephesians 5 says, therefore be imitators of God and walk in love. You know, my devotion this morning challenged me to think about this concept of not becoming average, not being okay with just being in where we already are, constantly trying to move forward. Paul talks about this crazy amounts, right? And I know we've mentioned it. We talk about the idea of straining forward, pushing toward the prize, constantly walking. Paul here, therefore, be imitators of God, walk in love, and as Christ loved and gave himself up. And so it's not just a do this, it's an explanation and an example was given to us as Christ did. He yearned. So this idea that we can't have a life of Christianity, that we can't become Christians, and then push forward and have a life full of meaning, of enjoyment, excitement, and zeal. You know, there's so many times where we find new believers and they get excited and they get going, and then they're bogged down by what we would call real world issues and all these other things, and life kind of settles and they get, you know, it's all new, right? And everything's exciting. You know, we always have this idea, you get a new toy, you want to do all kinds of stuff with it. And sometimes that's the way we do with Christianity. We get all excited and they dive into a discipleship program or a Bible study, and they're wanting everything, and then eventually they just kind of slow down and they get into an average, regular, kind of dull mindset, and that should not be the case. I think as a church and sometimes as Christians, we've come to accept that. We've come to just that's the normal, is that we get into this routine of doing things, but that should not be the way we do it. We should be imitators of God, like Christ says. And here someone just says, yeah, good morning, Don, Kathy, Hannah Wood, how you doing? Glad for you to join us. But this is the excitement that we have and we should have towards our walk with Christ. When we see Jesus, give me this example, and this is where it says, walk in love as Christ loved us. So look at this example of what Jesus did. Jesus would go out and he would do all kinds of amazing and crazy things. But his focus was his relationship with God. And he out of that relationship with his Father, out of that relationship with God, we get this energy that he was able to constantly give other people. It says when he was tired, when he was weary, he would rest. There would be some times where we find out that Jesus takes a nap. I think it's one of the coolest stories. Jesus napping on the boat and they're all freaking out. But there, a lot of times when it says that he was weary or he was tired and he was worn down, what he would do is he would go spend time with God. And spending time with God would recharge him, would rejuvenate him, would get him excited. And I'm going to tell you that if you are spending time every day devoting yourself to being around God, to spending time with God, to learning from him, whether it's through a devotion, through reading, through worship, through studies, you will automatically, the spirit inside you will get fed, will get nourishment, will get brought up, will get excited in this. And because of that, then you will have the zeal to learn and do more. That excitement that you had at the beginning when you were a Christian and you first came to Christ, that can continue on. It is not required that dies off eventually. And so it shouldn't be. You know, we live lives, and I see it now in our kids, right? They get excited. And my son, I was talking to him this morning because I got to work before he woke up, and you know, he Anna called me and put him on the phone. He doesn't call on the phone yet, at least, but he's so excited. He woke up and he's excited to tell me what he's learned and something that he thought about and showing me his animals. And eventually we kind of wear that down on kids and people, and we try to tell them, that's stuff that kids do. We don't get excited about those types of things anymore, and ideas. And I think we carry that over in our Christian life. We get excited about somebody that's like, I learned a verse. Yeah, I know. You've learned 100 now. So good. No, you learned a verse. That's fantastic. You memorized something. You came closer to God. These are good things, and we should be getting excited about it. We should be having energy about it. And it should, encourage us, just as it did here. When we're imitators of God, when we're imitators of Jesus, walking in love, walking in these things, constantly doing this, we get this zeal that doesn't stop. We don't have to become average. We get to consistently push. We get to consistently fight. We get to constantly, push those barriers of what else can we do for God? What else can we give up? What else can we sacrifice? And this is the way that we see it, because it ends up being this fragrant offering. I think it's great when it says a fragrant offering and sacrifice. Sacrifices are required. They're things that we must do, and there are some things that we must do. And those types of things can get kind of worn down. We must have a relationship with a local body in the church, and those things can get tiring. We must even read or pray, and some things those get tiring. But this offering, this fragrant offering, is the extra stuff. And these things that they don't get boring or excited. And to me, this is the learning something new about God, digging in, spending time, worshiping, finding a song that just fits your heart and your soul, writing a song. I mean, I'm not a writer. I don't write music and do things that some people do, and they write beautiful poems and things of that nature to express their relationship with God. And these are the fragrant offerings. But I think sometimes we miss, because we're so tired of the sacrifices, or we're so tired of what we need to do, and we stop there. We don't go any further. We end at the sacrifices, and we don't ever make the fragrant offerings. We don't ever get to that exciting stuff. And we used to, but we stopped doing it, and we stopped going that far. So the challenge this morning, when we look at something like this, where it says, therefore be imitators of God, walk in love, gave himself up, is the challenge is to keep doing that. Keep giving up, keep finding ways to sacrifice, keep walking in love, keep being imitators of God. Don't stop doing that. Find that push and that drive that you probably had at the beginning, you probably had at some point. And if you might say, I don't know, I've never had a drive to just really spend time with God. I've never had a drive to really get to know him. I've never had a drive to benefit from understanding him more. I would say, let's have a conversation, because maybe you don't know him. Maybe there is that aspect that you've heard about him, and you might know some facts about God, and you might have some belief that the scripture is true, but you don't really believe in God. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. And we can have some conversation. We can talk about it. But I think that what we have more often than not is that we've kind of lost that feeling. And now in my head, I'm just, you lost that nothing. All right, but I won't sing. Christy hates it when I sing, and she's on here, so I can't sing. But maybe it's just that. Maybe you've just lost that aspect. And I would say, get it back. Spend some time. Find some songs. Find something, some art. So do something that gets you excited. Whatever it is that you can find that would get you excited about learning. Maybe it's finding a new book. If you need a book recommendation, hit me up. If you need some song recommendations, let me know. I listen to music. I read books. I do these types of things. And I don't do them, only for my own good, but I do them so I can share them and we can share them. And if I haven't, RT reads like 1 billion books a day, it seems like. So, he could read. And, if some ideas, Michael is beautiful with the music and knows a lot of the songs. And so could reach out to these different parts of our aspects of our church and find out what are something that could get me excited. What is something I could use to push throughout the day? And so I think that's the challenge, is don't stop doing it. Walk in love, be imitators of God. And then I feel like the encouragement is that we already have an example of someone that's done this. And push out the temptation to say, yeah, but it's Jesus. But he was still man. So there's still an encouragement, there's still an excitement, there's still a benefit when we see that Jesus already did this for us and we can live the life that he lived. We can follow his example. That's why he came as a man. That's why he came as human. That's so important to understand that he was 100% human because we can follow him. We can use his example. We can do those things because he was battled. He was tempted just like we were. He was challenged with just the same thing. He was hungry. He was tired. You got frustrated. There was things about him that he suffered the same way we did. And he lived life. I mean, he's 33 and a half years old by the time he died. And you say it wasn't a super long life, but that was a long enough life to get bored and to get, and he didn't. He stayed focused. He stays it. So we have an example, and that's an encouragement. The challenge is to do these things. So hopefully when you read Ephesians 5, that can be an encouragement and a challenge to you. I love you guys. Like I said, a little bit later, I'm going to go live. I don't know when. I don't know how long it's going to be for sure. And there's not really a true focus. Like I'm not speaking another verse or the challenge. I'm just going to get on and talk. And if you guys just want to chat, that's fine too. But I'm going to be learning a new program and I want to go ahead and do that live. And if you guys want to join in and see how many times I mess up or what mistakes I make, you can do that too. But that'll be on YouTube or Facebook. So love you guys. Talk